Do me a favor and clap your hands one time for the one and only Zaytoven, y'all. Show some love for Zaytoven. Give a snapshot of how you got involved in production in general. Talk about your story, JT, the whole nine.
The way I got started. Now, I always gotta let people know my roots come from me being a church musician. I started off maybe around 6, 7 years old, started playing the drums in church. Every little boy wanted to play the drums in church, so I had to wait in line, so I said, you know what, let me try something else. I started playing the keyboard. So that's what got me interested in music, me being a church musician. Around my 11th, 12th grade year in high school, I started playing for the band, but me and my buddy that played the drums, we'll go to the football games, and I just play on the keyboard, he'll play the drums, and we'll just play songs that you hear on the radio. So while we playing, at the football game, a guy by the name of JT, the bigger figure, showed up to the game. Now he's a big dog in the San Francisco Bay Area. He already had a deal with Priority. He was, one of those guys. He saw me playing like, hey man, you need to be in the studio. Let me bring you to the studio, show you how to work the equipment. He showed me how to work the equipment, man. I fell in love with making beats. But I fell in love with making beats really for myself. Like I wanted to go home and just listen to my beats. I wanted to go home and rap. I was rapping on my own beats back then. You know what I mean? Had my little brother come in, like, come and rap on this right here. Get some of my buddies from school, my cousins, and it was just fun. Like, I was doing it as a hobby. Long story short, I was making those beats, and the beats started coming out dope, so people wanted to buy beats. I made it on a few albums and on a couple of Bay Area albums. So, when you start making money doing something, it started to get a little serious. So I enjoy doing it, but it's like I treat it as a hustle too. So I moved from the Bay Area down to Atlanta, Georgia, and that's when my sound started to change. That's when I started, really taking music a little more serious, So long story short, my first big song was So Icy. That was 2005. Anybody remember So Icy? Man, y'all remember So Icy. Y'all too young, man. So Icy. So Icy was the song that made me, realize like, hold on, this could be your career. Even though the song was the hottest song of that year, it was playing on the radio, that was the first time I got a residual check, I was still scared to step out and just do music. I cut hair at the barbershop, I play music at the church, and I'm making beats, and I got a song on the radio, and it's big. Most people would say, like, oh, I got a song on the radio, I'm a big producer now, that's all I'm gonna do is just focus on that and keep making beats. I was kind of scared because I felt like the music industry was so fickle that what if I don't make another hit, or what if, what if I'm getting, somebody else is making all the big songs now, then where that leave me? So I continued to work at the barbershop and all that. I kept making songs, I had hits after that. Then I had Usher's song, Papers. That was 2010. Now this was the #1 song at the time. I was still at the barbershop cutting hair because I was scared to leave. I was still felt like, man, maybe this was a fluke. Maybe I ain't gonna keep happening. It wasn't until 2013 when I did Versace with Migos, where I
Clap it up for that right there, man. Come on, y'all.
Migos, Versace. Versace was so icy to me all over again. It was 10 years apart almost, but it felt like the rebirth of Zaytoven. It felt like this is my first big song all over again. So that's when I looked at it. I had a whole new outlook for the music game. I stopped the barbershop, focus on strictly music. I really didn't have a choice because people would come to the barbershop just to take pictures and ask me to sign them and things of that nature. So. And I done had plenty of songs after that, man. I've done so much work since then, so I've always been excited to produce. If anybody out here is a producer, you know how exciting it is to get up and create music. There's nothing else in the world that can replace that. You know what I mean? So even if I wasn't making money doing this, I'll probably still be getting up making beats every day because certain void that can't be filled with nothing else.
When did you really realize, like, I can do this for my entire life? This is something I could really do every day and make money from it.
Really when the money started changing. Like, even though Usher was like, at that time, that was the biggest money. That was the first time I made $100,000 at one time. You know, for a young producer, that's like, what? I just made $100,000? My parents ain't never seen no money like that at one, you know what I mean, before. So that's when it started clicking like, oh, hold on, this is something else. You know what I mean? So that's when it changed. But I still treat it as a hustle. Like, I'm still hustling every day to get placements, to, you know, to sell beats, to get on certain things. So, you know, I still treat it as a hustle.
How important that relationship has been to you, and can you maybe point out one relationship that was like super influential or beneficial in your career?
Relationships has been the biggest thing for me. I'm one of the guys that I didn't have a manager. Like, when I did all these records, all these songs I'm talking about, it was all face value stuff. It was all me going out. If I thought Migos was dope, I'm going to look for them. I'm going to find them and bring them to my house and work with them. You know, it's not me going through a manager or them going through my manager. It's me having a personal relationship with each one of these guys. So when something do happen, I can call these guys at any given time and say, hey, I need you to do this. Or they can call me vice versa, like, hey, Zay, I need you to do this. So relationships has been the biggest thing. I think that's how you get things done. That's how people respect you. So definitely got to keep your face card good with relationships. I haven't burned any bridges, you know. I just created more and more bridges.
What about just influential people in your career? Aside from JT, obviously, were there any other producers that mentored you? Was there anybody that like really took you under their wing? Anybody give you advice that you like hold on to today and use every day? Anybody in that arena?
Not for real. Like, once I did my thing, I think all I really worked with was the artists. Like, Gucci was a guy I really worked with that, you know, those guys helped me shape my sound. Not because they were producers or they trying to tell me how to make the music, it's just they style of rap and what they wanted to hear, so it helped just, you know, cultivate my sound. Guys like OJ the Juice Man, Young LA, Gorilla Zoe, you know, Soulja Boy, all these guys back at that time, these were artists that I'm working with every day coming to my house, so they help shape and mold my sound, so, yeah.
Somebody who has a unique sound like yourself, how do you explain to the younger generation or the next wave how important being original is, and how do you really be original?
I think it's harder now. It's hard to be original because the technology has made it where if you go, I go to these sounds, I go to these different plugins and stuff. They have a Zaytoven kit, they have a Metro Boomin, they have a mic wheel, they have, you know, you can go and use the sounds of all your favorite producers. So you ain't gonna you ain't gonna have no choice but to sound like somebody else. You know what I mean? If you listen to the music nowadays, it's hard to distinguish who did what because it's all sounding the same. It's because, you know, that's how the technology is. I always encourage a producer to get with an artist, you know, get with an artist that you feel like is special. You know, somebody that's hungry that you think will make it in the game, and lock in with that person. You know, that's how y'all can create a sound. I don't give credit to just me creating a sound. I created a certain sound because I'm working with Gucci Man every day. So, you know, it kind of just created something. So I feel like, you know, try to do that. Try to get an artist that you think is dope and get a chemistry going. Because all the great producers, say a Timbaland or Switch Beats or, you know, all these, they broke somebody. They had an artist that helped make their sound, you know, and that's just what it was.
What hasn't Zaytoven done that you feel has to be on the list before it's all said and done? Whether it be working with an artist, opening up a new business, what's something that you really, you know, aspire to do outside?
Man, it's such a blessing to be doing. I'm doing more than what I ever dreamed I'd be doing. So, you know, I'm just rolling with the punches. I'm rolling how it comes. I'm still excited to be a top dog producer. You know what I mean? That's like one of the things I still feel like is my number one desire. You know what I mean? Every day, every year, I'm always still working to be like, okay, Zaytoven's gonna be one of the hardest producers this year because he's working that hard. So, you know, it's always that, man. It's always, you know, and then I think God always just bring me new things. I just started a non-profit where, you know, I'm helping all the younger kids that want to get into music, you know, giving them instruments and studio equipment to help
Right.
help them get in the game. You know, like I'm doing movies. I did a book. I just did a TV show with BET starting in January. You're gonna see me on TV every week. You know, I got my own BET show. These are things that I never even thought about before. I never dreamed about being on TV or things of that nature. So, you know, and that's what keeps me excited. That's what keeps me motivated every day, is not knowing what's gonna be next for me. You know, so.